A very good evening of viewers of Elkem TV. Once again, you're welcome to the show Agafiirg Mu. Every single Friday, we're right here giving you what has actually transpired throughout the week. One more time, I welcome you from all over you've been, the ones that have been at work. You're most welcome back from wherever you've been and all the places of work you've been in. Actually, welcome you back. And onto this very show, remember that every single Friday, we appear onto the screens of Elkem TV to actually bring you what has transpired into the midst or within the eve of the week. Meanwhile, there are actually a lot of stories that have transpired throughout the week. All I beg is just keep tuned on to the Elkem TV and follow the show as well. And don't forget to get onto your YouTube to be part of this particular show. Type Elkem TV on your YouTube, subscribe, put on the bell, and don't forget to write your comment about this particular show. What is your perception? What is your say about the news items that have actually transpired throughout the week? It's a very beautiful Friday, and one more time, as we're heading into the Eid period. Meanwhile, this could be the last Friday as we usher into the days of Eid. One more time onto the site. I'm not alone. I've come through with one of my analysts, that is Kanga Oyeseri, appearing also onto the screens. But before I proceed, I just pray you allow me give him an opportunity to introduce himself to you viewers, and then we get to proceed with the show as well. Mr. Kanga Oyeseri, thanks for coming through and being onto the site of Elkem TV. I pray you get to introduce yourself and we get to proceed with the show as well.
Yes, Kanga Oyeseri as usual, and I want to first of all begin by congratulating the Muslims. They're just left with a day in between to go for their celebrations of Eid. So I congratulate the entire Muslim community here in Masindi, but also up to the national level, Uganda, but also worldwide. Congratulations. We are happy for you, and that aside, I also want to use this opportunity to send my greetings to Cheryl Nangobi and then Aaron Mukama in Chirasa. Okay,
thank you very much, Mr. Kanga Oyeseri, for actually coming through and being live onto the sets of Elkem TV. One more time, I want to welcome you and appreciate you for always following this particular show and being part of this beautiful edition of Agafiirg Mu. One more time, before we proceed with this particular show, just allow me to remind you that this show is actually proudly sponsored by our friends of Medina Primary School, where they're telling you that they are located just a few kilometers away from Masindi town along Kampala Highway. And their school fees is affordable, and you can simply take their child for better education. Meanwhile, the week has actually been very, very long since we last appeared here. There are a lot of things that have actually transpired within the eve of this very, very week. When I left here, I see that we had the Heroes Day celebrations that also came up in the districts of Gomba, and there is a lot of things that happened onto that very day, whereby we saw awarding of some officials that were also included in the fight of bringing this government into power. And away from that story of the Heroes Day, we also get to see the Mpango, maybe what we can call the 30th anniversary of the president since he actually got back onto the power. And away from the Mpango that was officiated on 11th of this very, very month, we also get to see another news item that has also transpired this very week, whereby we've seen NEMA also actually trying to demolish hundreds of buildings in places of Kampala, and that is Nansana and some other places along Rubiji River. And away from that story, we also get to look at another story that has also transpired. We see 3 legislators being arrested on allegations of corruption. This actually comes about in regards to the presidential directive that was actually a presidential speech when he was opening up the first section of the parliamentary the parliament of this very period of the 5 years. We actually saw him saying that he already have the information about the corrupt officials that are in government. Meanwhile, we've actually started seeing some action appearing whereby 3 legislators were arrested. And away from that story, also get to look at some other stories that have also transpired this very week. We see the reading of the budget that actually came through yesterday. That is that is in Kamuli district, whereby a woman aged 34 actually chopping off the husband genitals. And away from that very story, I think we actually get to move on to another story that has also come about. That is in Kivoga district, whereby we saw a witch doctor being arrested over allegations of murdering a 11-year-old school girl and removing her internal body parts. Those are some of the stories that have actually come through this very week. But before I get to leave the headlines and getting to the real gist of this particular show, I want us to also move elsewhere into the world and see what has actually transpired in some other parts of the country. Also get to see that is in Malawi, the vice president, that is Saulos Chilima. Yes, Chilima also actually dying in a plane crash. And away from Malawian story, we also get to see Nigerians also celebrating the 25th Democracy Day, that is in the city of Abuja. And meanwhile, those are some of the stories that have transpired this very week, right from we left this place on Friday. Actually, stories have been so many, only that you also know we have an issue of time. And at least we try our best to bring you the key stories that have actually transpired into the eve of the week. Meanwhile, one more time, my name is Urban Brown, and I want to appreciate everyone that has actually joined up the show. Thanks for catching up the show wherever you're catching it from. That is actually very beautiful, and thanks for loving what we actually give out at you. Before I get into the real gist of this particular show, just allow me move you into a short break, and when we do return, I'll actually be getting to the real gist of or delving deep into these stories that have transpired throughout the week. Keep locked as we get back from the break. Once again, welcome back from that short commercial break that has actually passed. And right here, we actually getting deep into our stories that have transpired throughout the week. What has actually made rounds into the week? Meanwhile, we're actually going to start with a story over the Heroes Day, because this is very week. We also got to see the Heroes Day celebrations down in Gomba district. That was in Mpenje sub-county, Mpenje Primary School. And looking into this very Heroes Day, we get to see as the National Heroes Day celebrations was actually celebrated on the theme of Hail Our Heroes. A secure Uganda is now a reality, and that is actually the theme that went down onto the Heroes Day celebrations. There are a couple of things that happened down that side. Mr. Kangao Yeseri, one more time, thanks for coming through and being onto the panel. I want us to briefly talk about the Heroes Day that actually came down in Gomba district. Onto the Heroes Day, we saw His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, appearing and awarding some officials that are actually were included in the struggle of actually bringing this government onto power. So what is actually your take? What do you actually get to see in this parliament actually coming out and having that mind of appreciating the people that they had into the struggle? Well,
it is a very good act. It's an act of appreciation. Although the problem is the people that are benefiting so much from this day are those that fought when they were properly educated, especially those that were picked from the universities, those who had some proper formal education. Those ones have benefited from the struggle. I mean those who survived anyway, the war. But there is also another section which is actually lamenting. There is this class, remember when the struggle had really picked up, at some point they had to recruit the young...
Our viewers of Welcome TV, just a little break and we get... Okay, one more time, once again, thanks for coming back from that short commercial break that has actually gone down. And one more time, before we got into that short commercial break, we actually been talking about Gomba and trying to look at how the government also showed its actually way of attitude of gratitude towards the people that it had into the struggles to bring this government on power. Actually, there is something you're trying to actually elaborate more about what went down, and I pray you get to proceed and we see how we can simply move on.
Yeah, as I was saying that the purpose of that National Heroes Day, actually, it was put in place to remember the fallen comrades who didn't make it up to see the success of the struggle. It was actually intended to remember those who died.
Yes.
However, it is those who are alive who are enjoying it even more.
The ones that are benefiting.
Exactly, the ones receiving the gifts. I actually don't understand how it works out. I thought on that date, it would be a date of giving gifts
to the people that lost,
to the families.
Yes.
That had their fighters dead. For example, if they have children, if they have perhaps parents, if they have any relatives, those are the ones who actually should be enjoying. Yes. But again, on the contrary, for me, what I'm seeing on the Heroes Day, they are using it again to praise those who are alive.
Yes. But
So-
if you looked at this function, actually, as you said it earlier on, that it was actually focused or mainly meant for the people that lost their lives into the struggle. And purposely, we saw a certain structure being constructed, and I think it was a graveyard for the ones that lost their lives that they used to arrest. They are called the Banyanyas. Yes, the ones that they used to arrest and kill from there. It was a certain unique graveyard that appeared there. I think it was just appreciating these officials was just like they just put it there, but mainly it was meant for the other people.
Yeah, of course. But of course, again, when you look at the meaning of the word hero, it also, on the other hand, it involves those who fought, but they also finally made it. So, as I was telling you that even, first of all, that is the first shock, the more attention should be given to the fallen comrades and their families that are surviving now.
Absolutely.
They should be using this day to make sure they are visiting these families. They are trying to find out, are the children, are the children studying? Are they having a nice home? How, if, for example, if it is, there is any surviving widow, how is she doing? How is she coping with the economy and any challenges? But again, as I told you, as a hero, also it also involves those who are alive.
Absolutely.
Now, for those who are alive, they are again also fall into categories. They are, as I was telling you, that there are those who joined the struggle with some very good education background on their heads.
Are the ones that are benefiting today.
Absolutely. Those who joined, especially from the universities,
Yes.
those ones are enjoying so much.
They are the generals now.
They are the generals now. And you can, for example, you look at all the generals that
Yes.
participated in the struggle now. Who is performing poorly?
Nobody.
Look at General Muntu, all the
But
other
actually,
ones.
as you have also actually put it down, I think government should also put it into consideration and at least try to look at those people, the families of those people that lost their lives in the struggle, and at least have some kind of appreciation for them, because I didn't see anything of that kind
No.
onto that function, but they only appreciated the ones that are alive.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually a very big concern for the ones that lost their relatives. I think the government should also look in that as well.
They are so resentful of a hero's day, a typical hero's day,
Because
when
it
they are
doesn't
seeing them
actually,
enjoying.
clearly, it doesn't make sense to celebrate the life of somebody dead. And the best way I think these people would also be appreciative would be also including their families amongst the beneficiaries of this very day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is how it could actually sound clear.
Yeah, although once in a while I see they are mentioning names of the fallen comrades and then they are giving them their medals. But I think it should be more than a medal. Because now a medal really doesn't in any way benefit the other deceased. Likely, the way religion puts it, that when someone dies, some religions believe the spirit keeps on seeing what's... So the spirit of the deceased should be able to be happy
Yes.
to see that the family is being treated well. But I was trying to develop this point that those who joined the struggle and lived to see the success of the struggle and had some very good education on their heads, they are enjoying it.
Enjoying it is true.
But there is also another category
Another cluster.
of the other ones who joined the struggle when they were young
Are not educated.
and they had not received any formal education. Now, there is that section also is lamenting seriously. I'm telling you, if you go to YouTube, I don't want to mention any names here, but they are there. There are very many. Some of them now they keep complaining on YouTube that they feel they just used them. Remember that time? Did you hear the word they were calling them? The Kadogos.
The Kadogos, yes.
Yes. Actually, the Kadogos played a very fundamental role. Because for them, they can run, they could easily, execute every instruction because they were young. Now that they have grown, remember, they sacrificed their education for the struggle.
Yes.
Now that they went through, they feel like now it is again others who are enjoying more.
It's actually something so...
Up to
bad.
today, some of them don't even have proper ranks, good ranks. Why? Because of poor education.
Exactly.
Maybe if there was a situation where, for example, the government thought of it, let's say, sending them back to school to try and do this adult
But
education.
it's actually late.
Yeah.
It's already late.
Absolutely.
But maybe what I can say is the government actually come in and intervene, at least have some kind of appreciation for these people. Even when they joined forces, the ones that remained there, time reached and some of them came out of the army. And these are the people that are living in a very harsh condition.
And but by the way, not all of them. There are also some who are a bit close to the chief hero, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni. Like for example, like General Salim Saleh. He also, because of the struggle, his education didn't go very much. But maybe you also remember that not so long ago, he sat for Senior 4 when he's a big man. Not so long ago. Yes, he went back, he did the examinations, and now look at the life he's living in Gulu. Very successful. Yeah, so the heroes there, it's a very good day to remember the fallen comrades, but also for some who are surviving. It's a very good act from the
it is actually
to say thank you.
It is
to say thank you for what you did.
Okay, that's a very beautiful actually perception towards what happened. That was down the other. It was on Saturday as we were celebrating the Heroes Day, that is in Gomba district. Meanwhile, I also one more time want to appreciate government for having that attitude of gratitude, or appreciating the people that actually appeared in the struggle, the people that surrendered, actually giving their lives and a lot. But that is actually something great.
And by the way, just one more last word. I want to mention this. The Heroes Day is not only, it should not be celebrated by the government, but by all of us.
All Ugandans.
Did you know to have to enjoy a successful struggle like that? It is not easy.
But I think it was nationwide.
Yes.
It is a day that was set.
Yeah.
It's a public day.
It's a public day, yeah. But still people don't properly feel what I feel.
So I think
the heroes, I'm telling you, they risked.
Yes.
To try and fight a government. That is like
the right time that a government has to come in and do more sensitization about this day.
All of us must be grateful. The freedom we have now.
It was due to their struggle.
It was because someone died. Yes. The freedom we have now, it is because some family lost a family head.
Yes.
Some family lost perhaps a brother, lost uncles, lost. So all of us, we should be grateful. We should not only watch on television and we start thinking, okay, it is Museveni and his. All of us, we must be grateful for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, one more time for having that great submission towards that function that went down in Gomba district. I think next time it will be also elsewhere in the parts of the country. Away from that story that went down in Gomba, we actually get to see another actually story coming down to Bunyoro, and we see the Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom celebrating the 30th coronation anniversary of Omukama Agafiirg Mu. This one comes about after His Excellency the President actually gave back powers to the kingdoms after they were fallen down by some other presidents. And we get to see a 76-year-old Omukama Agafiirg Mu making a remarkable milestone since the president restored the cultural leadership in the powers in the parts of cultural leaders in all parts of the country. And what actually transpired me on that day was there was some kind of clashing between the opposition and the ruling party members, because I saw that it was Honorable Singer Harriet Morgan, the Vice Chairperson for Bunyoro Parliamentary Caucus, that actually came out and mentioned the issue of the university, that it was also included among the this budget that was read yesterday for financial year 2024-2025. But into other process, when one of the opposition MPs, that is Asnance, was given a microphone or the podium, she came out and said that no, basing on the information that is being given, that the issue of the Bunyoro University was included in the budget. They are false information, because she said she was in Parliament when they were passing this budget, the 2024-25 financial year budget, but she didn't see any kind of money that was included in the budget for the Bunyoro University, whereby the Bunyoro Parliamentary Caucus were firm and they were saying the money was included. But as Nan said that The reason why she said that they have not yet done the motion for Bunyoro University has not yet appeared in the what? In the plenary, whereby she was saying that it is supposed to be brought on table by the Ministry of Education. And that is Minister, the First Lady, that is Janet Kataha Museveni, has to bring it on in Parliament so that it can be discussed. And after discussing it, that's when money will be allocated. But per now, it's a lie that the issue of the university was also included in the financial year 2024-2025. And making matters worse, yesterday as they were reading the budget, we actually didn't see anything of at the Bunyoro University. Should we say that some leaders in Bunyoro are there to blinden the voters? Or?
Well, what happened is perfectly fine because government has a big responsibility of keeping a good image in the eyes of the local people,
yes,
but also on a national level, but also on an international level. That is the job. They have to. So when, for example, the Prime Minister comes and he gives a speech like that, it is
let's assume it is in the pipeline, but it didn't appear in the what?
Yeah.
In the budget.
Yeah. No, okay. The other thing I want us also to know is the Prime Minister knows a lot of secrets and likely the goals of what the president is about to do. Now, the work of opposition also is to keep government in check, to make sure what it is doing, it is for the benefit of the people. So maybe on that particular instant, where if, for example, Honorable Nabanja, the Prime Minister of our country, maybe if she was caught off guard, I'm sorry for her. But there was an opposition leader who was alert.
She could not be have maybe gotten been got off guard. Only that all I think right from the Prime Minister's speech, I'm so sure that the issue of the Bunyoro University is in the pipeline.
Yes.
But it had not yet reached the time of appearing in the what?
Absolutely.
In the financial budget.
Absolutely.
And the other thing that also kind of surprised me, it was a 30th coronation of the anniversary of the Umukama. Actually trying to remember, actually it was a celebration of the 30 years since the powers were restored to cultural leaders. But what surprised me that you saw this function was more becoming political than its main purpose. Because we also saw a member of parliament, Obama, also coming in saying, now you know what? We pray that the Bunyoro leaders should at least, the Bunyoro people should request their members of parliament to accept and give them hands on the other bill of censoring the commissioners that were included in corruption. So me, I looked at the thing becoming more corrupt, political, than looking at what was the main purpose to why the function was set.
Well, in the Bible, there is a book called Deuteronomy. Now, in that book, there is one chapter called chapter 6. When it comes to raising up a kid, God instructed the Israelite fathers and mothers to use every opportunity to teach. Whether you're walking on the road, whether you're sitting down, whether you're eating, whether you're about to sleep. Now, it is the same principle. I feel government, as I told you,
yes,
their main intention and main goal is to make sure that they keep a good image about itself, and also to make sure that they keep updating the public of what is good, okay, to give them hope. Now, I don't see any problem if the Prime Minister uses that as an opportunity. By the way, not even the government alone, but I'm telling you, even these local leaders, do you attend burials? He can never leave the platform without throwing in something political. Yes. Why? Because that's a very wonderful platform. You can come on television like Elkem, but maybe there is this other villager who never gets to see the program. Now, when they invite you for let's say a burial, that's now the opportunity. Now, even for the Prime Minister, although this was a different occasion,
yes,
but for me, I have no problem with that. It was smart on her part to throw in
Okay.
an agenda of government.
Actually, that is very good for having that great say about what went down that side. But also, onto this very function of Empango, we saw Honorable Minister, that is Balam Barugahara, the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, amongst the youth also coming out. There is a point that he also raised on the issue of the Bagungu and the Banyoro. He was actually trying to sensitize and talking more of we being so in collaboration with the Bagungu so that we can move onto the same pace. And also try to comment about was he a minister for Bunyoro affairs, for issues of the kingdom? That was Norman Lukum, to also at least cool down the pressure of forming another kingdom and at least work together as Bunyoro. Where do you see this one leaving Bagungu?
They have always had that thought of breaking out from the Bunyoro kingdom, and then they set their own kingdom called Obutebengwa. Now, yes. You see, Bunyoro likely has learned from history. Did you know this Bunyoro kingdom was a very huge kingdom? It used to stretch up to even deep into some parts of Congo.
And Tanzania even down
Yes.
the other side of Karagwe.
Yes. But you know, slowly, gradually, it kept on, kingdoms started breaking off. By the way, even Busoga also broke away from Bunyoro. So likely, the king has learned from history. When you look at, for example, the Butebengwa, the Bagungu,
yes.
To me, I don't think this is the right time to break away from Bunyoro. Why? Because when you look at it, one of even the reasons why the Mukama refused the whites to come and have strong bases here in Bunyoro kingdom was because he never wanted the whites to take advantage of the resources of Bunyoro. Okay? Now, when you look at it, other kingdoms were happy to invite the whites, and you can see how they quickly depleted their resources. Now, this is at a time when we are thinking of now starting to benefit from the oil. And now the oil part of it is in Bulisa.
In Bulisa, yes. Should we say that the Batibengwa have gotten some perception? They have it in their minds. They want to be the right people to benefit
from the oil.
Yes.
But now how about the king who has kept that oil for all these years? He had even to fight real wars with the whites.
Yes.
So I really think what Balaam mentioned was really good.
Yes.
Let them work together with the king of Bunyoro.
Because we are all benefiting.
We are all
when
benefiting.
They constructed the roads, they all
go there.
Constructed in
and I mean, where are they getting the greed? Where are they getting the greed? Yes. It's like someone is planning to give you a full bunch of matoke.
Yes.
But for you you are fighting for a small piece. Why?
Piece.
All along, where have they been? Now that they have seen the oil now has come up, maybe it is also possible that there is some invisible force.
It is true.
Who could simply be putting in some firewood invisibly. But I feel Balaam gave a very good message.
Yes.
Let them just cooperate. Let them be together. Together we stand. And when we isolate, and by the way, when you look at the Bagungu, it's very small. It is going to be a small kingdom, assuming it is to succeed. And I'm telling you, the smaller you are, the easier you are to get maneuvered. And the more you are, the numbers, like for example in the army, the numbers is everything. If you have a huge army, I'm telling you, even the enemy, you can easily overwhelm him. I'm telling you. But when you're small, like for example, how many districts are making up the Bagungu?
It's only one district.
It's only one.
And partial of Hoima.
Why do you make yourself vulnerable like that? Those people, they need the security from this big kingdom.
That's true.
So for me, I honestly agree with Honorable Balaam what he said.
Okay, thank you very much. One more time, I want to appreciate Mr. Honorable Barugara for actually also having that opinion, that mind in you, for actually at least trying to highlight these people, let them work together with the Bunyoro kingdom so that we can simply move forward. Issues of partitioning ourselves, I think it won't work out. And away from that, we actually got to see the function, who actually was graced by a couple of people. We saw the IGP Abbas Kagaba, the newly actually elected or voted IGP, and we also saw Minister Mary Mugasa also appeared there. We saw the Mugo Karunga Margaret was also there. But what actually surprised me on this function, I won't say I was surprised, because things happen. The Mpango was celebrated in the absence of the king.
Yes.
And which image does it portray for the people of Bunyoro?
Well, you know, that's a very powerful point, and it is very sentimental for all the people from Bunyoro, because he was supposed to be the guest, the chief guest, because the celebration was for him. But anyway, one of the sources closest to him revealed that he was not feeling well. Assuming it was true, then it was very unfortunate. And remember, these are dates which are fixed. They never shift them. So if he was sick, then we are sorry. We wish him a quick recovery. But it would be very unfortunate to know that he didn't attend because there was some disturbing point. And you know, this is not the first time for it to happen. Even in Uganda, the last coronation, the king didn't also attend. And of lately, we are seeing even the king of Uganda from time to time as if he's getting sick. Even currently as we talk, he's not in the country. So we don't know if there is some physics and chemistry behind. We don't know, but it was a pity for the entire kingdom, and very unfortunate.
So in other words, let's pray for the life of our Umukama so that he can simply actually improve. And
you know, just on that, it was a bit very tricky for me to interpret, because did you know he attended the church service? He attended, yes.
He was unable.
And then he attended church, and then when it came to this one, then he missed.
He was unable to make it. So sorry about that, but in other words, as well, we saw the function going down successful. So it wasn't something. So it wasn't a big deal. Much as was not in place, but the best thing, the function went down and it was successful. And away from that, I also want to to extend my regards to some schools that I saw performing down. We saw Premier Secondary School also coming down with some nice performance. We saw Flobeto Primary School coming down. Destiny SS in Hoima also coming down with some kind of a good performance. Yeah, everything was actually so successful, and I want to remind you, viewers of Elkem TV, that is actually what went down to Bunyoro this very, very week of Mpango. Because, you know, when it comes to Mpango, we always see a lot of people actually yearning to reach that day, but that's how it went down, and it was so successful. And away from that story, maybe before we get into a short break, I want us to look at this very story that has also put the country on tension. We're getting to see NEMA, that is your National Environmental Management Authority, in Kampala, also trying to they have actually raised hundreds of houses down due to people constructing near water bodies or in wetlands. We based on the information that we are getting, we have seen places like Nansana, a number of houses were demolished. We get to see, but based on the officials' statements, they are saying that they have actually been holding sections with the victims for 3 years. And before actually starting the activity of raising down the houses, they also actually wrote for them an eviction notice for 21 days. Where do you see our country standing today? Because if you tell me that you're giving somebody 21 days to evacuate from a certain place, and where somebody has lived for more than 20 to 30 years, Do you see it working out, or?
Well, I think what stood out for me is that the government has been
Too fast.
has been in talks with them. He has been engaging them for the past 3 years. I think that really stood out for me. And I think that was said by the spokesperson of NEMA, Mr. Williams.
That is the PR, yes.
Yeah, the
NEMA.
PR. Now, my point is this. The issue is, why should that institution of NEMA allow
Thank you time for coming back from that short talk. My name is Urban Pro. I'm trying to adulteries that have transpired throughout the week. And to the side, I have Kanga Oyeseri, my scrutinizer. We're trying to scrutinize what has actually transpired throughout the week of Viewers of Elkem TV. Just get onto YouTube, type Elkem TV, and don't forget to write your comment about this particular show. What did you say towards the news item transpired out? So still speaking back before we go into a break, I think we are on NEMA. What is actually doing right now in the Kabarwana election. I'm of view that NEMA is actually gone too fast, because maybe what government would have done first was actually finding a way to reallocate these people from where they've been, because some people were actually claiming that they've been in this place for quite a long span of around 30 years, and some people were born from the very place. And if you looked at the structures that were being raised down, you find that they look to be some old structures that have actually lasted for a given span of time. So I think here government also messed up. They would have at least gotten some piece of land to reallocate these people from these places of Nansan and in the wetlands and put them in a different place. At least they give them some pieces of land and leave them there. Issues of constructing, they will begin from there, but not just erasing the houses down and leaving them loitering on streets. Because me, I'm of perception that having raised these houses down, that is how it's going to actually accumulate the rates of crimes in our country, Uganda, since these people are just left there with nothing, no survival.
Well, the problem I'm putting it on just two things. Sometimes our government likes being reactive and not being proactive. Like, for example, why do institutions want to work in isolation? Like, for example, NEMA and this one responsible for giving out land titles.
Minister of Lands.
Yes, and then this one, which is responsible for planning for housing, because by the time someone establishes a permanent home there, because these were permanent homes, they were thrown down. So it meant that this one came, he bought land.
Yes.
He goes to lands, even sometimes you process the land title. They are quiet.
And in the process of constructing, they are also given plans.
They even go and buy, they purchase plans.
Yes.
They give them
money.
They even clearly know where the guy is constructing. But they what?
They keep quiet.
They keep quiet. Now, you hire, you pay all the expenses, you buy all the materials. Remember, all the materials, taxation is on it.
Very expensive.
You hire an engineer. Then when the house is complete. Now again, that's when they are bringing this grader to throw it down. Why don't institutions work together? For example, NEMA should work with this one of lands. Yes. So that if someone has come and is processing a land title, the first question should be, where is the land?
Yes.
It is in Rubiji. They should quickly now notify NEMA that here
it
there
could
is
be in a wetland.
Can you please go and double check? When they say this is they quickly disqualify and the guy, they refund him his money. But now these institutions work in isolation. This one keeps quiet. It is just happy to give out land titles in the wrong place. Now, even now NEMA late also now finally comes. It first keeps quiet because Rubiji is not an isolated place. It is in Nansana. This is very close to the city.
Kampala,
they see. Now, if you see one person has constructed a house, let you go and just stop from that one. But they first wait 1, 2, 3, it becomes hundreds. Now that's when they come. Now, in the end, by the government benefits from that type of behavior. Because remember, you've paid for land title, you have paid for everything. But in the end,
much as government
is
is gaining from this activity, from these whatevers, the plans and whatever, because these people pay a lot of money to access the plans, the land titles, and even buying land. Today, land in Nansana is very expensive. So it doesn't actually make sense for having somebody has completed his structure on the very expensive materials that are on the prices that materials are on today, and somebody just comes from nowhere and demolishes somebody's house. You just leave somebody who is nowhere to stay. I think here government also messed up. They would have at least first got somewhere to reallocate these people, because all I know that before these people constructing, they have paid their money for the plans, they have done that. This was the right time for the government to also intervene. I also have at least these people, or at least have to put, they get to put them somewhere. Because currently people are sleeping outside.
But also one very strong point that I have, we always, as a journalist, we have to be balanced. We should also stop putting too much blame on the government. Also, the other fundamental fact is that even us, me and you, we don't land.
It's always
when you are buying land, first of all, you must double check all those facts. Is this land, is it buyable? Or are you buying land which has maybe misunderstood family issues? Or is it land which is in a wetland? We should also land.
Now, basing on that issue,
now the fact that we don't land, that's why we keep on doing the same mistakes and we keep on crying.
That drives us back to the what? To the root cause. I've bought land. Being a wetland. People have actually, they don't have much knowledge about the name or whatever as what. For them, as long as I've purchased land. So it is the work of government, these people that are giving out land titles, the people that are giving out plans to guide me. You bought this land, but you're not accepted to construct it there.
Now, that's where I'm saying that let's first of all forget about those officials. Which yes. Let's first of all understand that method, much as it is the right way, it doesn't work in Uganda. Before you buy, first of all get a lawyer. Pay him, let him double check all those facts.
Because I saw these people, some of them complaining that they are going to courts of law and they are sure they will be compassionated. But they have all the documents, all the credentials are there to stand for themselves.
Because you see, Mr. Moderator, the only problem is one. Before you seek for justice, you should approach it with clean hands. You know what that means? It means that If me I'm a killer, and let's even say government is even looking for me. If for you killed my child, there is no way I'm going to court. Why? Because I'm also having dirty hands. So before you get justice, you must also approach justice with clean what? Hands. Now, before you go to court that you want government to compensate you, you ought to have known that it is you on the wrong going in a bad place. Yes. So that is why I'm saying, we also don't learn. Let that now be a lesson for me and you and any viewers out there. You people, before you pay for land, first be willing at least to lose maybe 500,000. Give an expert to double check facts for you. But if you want to say that, okay, now me, I have 5 million and now, I just want to land, you don't want even to lose 500. I'm telling you, you're going to lose everything.
Let's look at the existence of these people 30 years back. People that have been there 30 years back. That's what I want you to first build in your mind. People have been there 30 years back. And look at the generation that we are in today, whereby you can purchase a lawyer. People didn't have that mind.
But it was in the law. It is in the law.
It was there, but people didn't have that mind. And it is today.
And now you see, they say, in the law, they say, ignorance doesn't make you innocent. There is no room, you will not tell a judge, wait, me, I didn't know. That's a convention. So,
it actually applies to both of we, the persons and also the government as well.
First, by the way, let not people get me wrong. I am not happy with what the government is doing. Well, not government. Okay, no, what NEMA has done. That is terrible. That's terrible. But I'm also saying, let us also learn.
We take.
Have you not seen? Have you not seen?
We are doing.
People are crying. People have watched on the TV. They have understood why. Wait, even others will go and buy in wetlands even after watching this.
As long as me, I'm where? I'm in the village.
So that's what I'm saying. We must also learn.
Not finding me there. I'm in Masindi. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kangao Yeseri, for having that great submission towards what actually is happening in Kampala right now. But I pray that NEMA, this is actually not the best way to go. I pray that at least you guys try to, much as you've been into dialogues with these people, at least try to sit down and try to give them some time as well, because we see people suffering. And one more time, I want to appreciate one of the members of parliament that I saw also coming down with some kind of hope. He brought Postal and some kind of assistance to these people that are actually undergoing a very harsh situation right now. But we pray government also to intervene and at least find a way of helping these people. But people also, let's try to be very vigilant. And we take precautions on each and everything that we are doing, not just indulging into things, getting into things anyhowly that may actually turn worse tomorrow. So in other words, that's all what is happening in Kampala, in some places of Nansana. And away from that story, as you know, time is moving us down. Just in a minute, I want us to also talk about the 3 legislators that have been earlier on, a few days back, arrested on allegations of corruption. And among these MPs, we see the Paul Akamba, that is a member of parliament representing Busiki County, and we get to also see another member of parliament, Yusuf Mutembuli, also representing Bunyoli East County, and a woman member of parliament of Lwengo District. Yeah, also being accused of corruption. Actually, looking through these stories, we get to see that the three members of parliament, that is Namuju, Mutembuli, the Vice Chairperson of Legal Affairs Committee, and Paul Akamba, are accused of collaborating with the Ministry of Finance officials to solicit bribes from accounting officers in exchange for approving government agency budget. And the further investigation revealed that the 2 of the MPs are wanted for their roles in the budget committee of parliament, where they previously served. The allegations include one member of parliament involvement in the dubious dealing with Kenyan individuals during the processing over petroleum supplies, amendments bill that was in November 2023. Another MP is accused of missing large sums of money, various government agencies while serving on budget committee, and these funds were largely used to purchase luxury SUV with a personalized number plate and to find significant construction project. The MP also reportedly planned to buy a $3 million property in the United States. What is your say about these MPs? Because actually we saw His Excellency the President commenting about corrupt members, and he said he have full information. I've started seeing the action of the President ongoing, whereby 3 MPs are already arrested. Do you think by doing this corruption will be stopped? Just in a minute.
Well, when you mention corruption, it is one of the hardest things to eliminate. We've seen powerful countries like China even putting their lethal punishments. You're caught, I'm telling you, you lose the position, and sometimes in some countries you go for Kalaba. They kill you. I'm telling you, they hang you. Why? Because you're playing around with the taxpayers' money. Now, what the President has started to do is excellent. That's what he ought to have done. From 1986 up to now.
But there is a say that His Excellency has also got in 2 categories of people. They are the ones that are being punished and the ones that are unpunishable. Yeah. Much as they're included.
Yes.
Or get included.
He gave even a reason for that. He once said that the problem is, he put many agencies to curb corruption, and that includes even the office of the IGG to monitor, to make sure people are not eating taxpayers' money. Now, he said that the problem is, if he's to make a decision to arrest all corrupt officials, it means he's going to arrest everybody. And all of them will go to jail. Even so, that means his government will be gone. Yes. So that is why he is now, I think, being selective. Like, for example, what you saw for Mabati, he only pinpointed
a few.
Yeah, the two, especially the 2.
And the rest remained.
Yeah, the 2, the cabinet minister for Karamoja, and then the state minister. Because those ones were directly responsible. These other ones, he forgave. But he also gave another reason. Yes. He says these other ones, when they steal big chunks of money, he says don't over-harass them. Because if you do, then they are going to make those investments outside Uganda. And yet when they steal big chunks of money, they start constructing the 5-star hotels within the country. You never heard of that?
So at the same time, you see His Excellency also supporting corruption.
No, not supporting, but he finds himself in a very hard situation.
So I pray that we have at least started seeing some actions of His Excellency, the President. At least some people have started tasting the fruits of prison. And I pray that some other officials that are also untouchable, I pray that His Excellency also includes them amongst the 3 who at least see corruption also being curbed in Uganda. And lastly, just in a minute, I want us to talk about the budget. We have actually yesterday saw the Uganda national budget being read by Matia Kasaija, the representative of His Excellency the President, because the Minister of Finance. The budget of around 72.136 trillion being allocated to different ministries, and just taking a little kind of look here, we saw Minister of Health being allocated 2.9 trillion. We see 200 billion for debtors. We move here, see 9,583 billion borrowing from outside. That will be money that will be borrowed from outside. We see roads being allocated 4,989. That's for roads. We move to PDM. We see 2 billion 641 trillion. That is billion. We also move to security and see 9,107 billion allocated for security, and also Moving right here, we also get to see 2.4 trillion also being allocated for education sector, agriculture also being allocated 9.1 trillion, 982.5 billion being allocated for energy. And moving here, we see Kampala, renovating Kampala Jinja Highway. It was given 20 billion. We see 31.9 billion to being allocated to UNRWA. Emyoga Circles being allocated 100 billion. We see constructing the national stadium, that is in Hoima, being allocated 152 billion. We see 1,672 billion being allocated for a value addition on agricultural products, and 1,027 being also allocated for improving the roads. Actually, that is a brief of what I actually try to get from the budget. But briefly, I just want us to talk about the budget because time is not our best ally. Do you see this budget made being sufficient for the people or for Ugandans? Because previously we had 52 billion last financial year, and this financial year we've seen at least an increment of over 20 billion, 20 trillion. Yes. Where do you see Ugandans being fully satisfied or fully satisfied with this budget?
Well, on paper, it looks good. But
implementation.
My only prayers is let's hope also the implementation.
Because basing on the IGG speech we was earlier on, he said that out of the budget, 100 billion, is it 10 trillion is all goes every financial year goes in corruption. So out of the 72 point that amount that is being allocated for this financial year, don't you say if you deduct the 10 trillion going in corruption, we remain with 62 trillion. Will that money be sufficient?
And that's what I'm telling you, that on paper
it's clean.
It is very.
The rest,
it looks promising. But my only prayer is that also let the implementation be as well good.
As clean as the paper.
Now,
yes.
Like for example, when you look at, for example, for health, they gave us, it was 2.9 trillion.
2.9 trillion.
Yeah,
Yes.
not so bad. But implementation again, we see. You remember last week we were here and we looked at an example of how one budget in one division, the process, the process, paying the officers this and this to make sure they implement something. The cost of implementation is very expensive, more than the real issue even at hand.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Kangao, you said, time is not our best ally, but in other words, one more time, I want to take this opportunity to appreciate you for actually having come through and being live onto the panel. But before I get to sign out of here, just allow me to give you an opportunity to actually have your last remarks to the viewers of Elkem TV, and we get signed out of here. Mr. Producer, I pray if there are some comments, you just bring them through. I try to read them to the viewers that have actually been part of this particular show. Mr. Kangao Yeseri, I think it's simply be moving on with your last remarks to the viewers of Elkem TV as well.
Well, thank you so much for hosting me, and it's always a pleasure for me to join this set. And I want to take this opportunity to send my greetings to all the deaf community in Masindi. We are very busy. Let me use this opportunity also to explain this. We are so busy. We are preparing our
tournament.
Deaf tournament. It is coming up very, very fast. In fact, today we've had engagements with some partners on board. For example, we were with the UDFA, the Uganda Deaf Football Association. They visited our district, and then we went to the local government at the district. We had a meeting. There was a lot we discussed, and so things are moving. So we pray that whoever can pass this message to all the deaf people in Masindi, please let us train very hard. In fact, anyone who is willing to come and join even the training, we are happy. Tomorrow, very early in the morning, we start from where we left from. Every Saturday we shall be there in Leiri. We shall be training. So I call upon any friends out there who could be willing to come and join with us. They support us in one way or the other. Please, you come on board so that we can work together for the good of the benefit, for the good of our deaf people and their health.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kangao Yeseri, for coming through and having that great submission. I pray that when the right time arises, I pray people come and support the deaf community. We see that we move on the same people, on the same pace. These are our people, these are our brothers, these are our sisters, and they need our support. So I pray that when the right time comes, you come and join us. We see how we can simply support these people. One more time, before I get signed out of here, I want to thank, this is Prince Neve Nevi Abori, thanks for the show. We see this is Glosh Santel saying thanks for the show. Glosh Santel, live from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. What of the market of Masindi district? Is it in the budget? Okay, one more time, I want to appreciate you, Groshante. Thanks for actually having been part of this particular show and always loving Agafiirg Mu. Whoever has actually been part of this particular show, we actually appreciate you for your time and everything you actually try to put into endeavor that you've been part of this particular show. And one more time, people that are in diaspora, that watch us from diaspora, big up on yourself. Thanks for loving this particular show. Meanwhile, with this, we come to the end of today's show, and let's catch up next Friday. That will be after Eid. My community, my Muslim community, brothers and sisters, just allow me wish you a happy Eid Adha that is actually coming up tomorrow but one, and have a nice weekend.